Welcome to the Community Hotline for the community, by the community. I'm your host, Mr. Bob Fang, and today we got Viv in the house. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Viv and I'm from Malaysia. Originally from Penang. If any of you have ever been to that island, I do advertising, branding, marketing. I'm in the arts and I sing jazz. I've got 7 cats, 1 dog, and 2 old folks to look after. There you go.
I love it. Are you an only child?
No, I'm not. I've got
Okay.
a brother who is in Belgium. Younger brother.
Got it. Why don't we start off with a little game then? Why don't you tell us 2 truths and 1 lie?
Okay. 2 truths and 1 lie. Number 1, I have sung for the king. The king. Number 2, I love durian. Number 3, I love cockroaches.
You love what?
Wait, let me rephrase that. I think I messed up. 2 truths and 1 lie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, scrap the last one. I messed up. The third one is I don't really have rhythm.
Okay. I'm gonna go with durian.
That is a lie or that's
Yeah.
the truth?
That's a lie?
Hey, well done. The third one's easy, but most Malaysians love durian. I hate it.
Okay. I like that. That's cool. You sang for the king. We'll get into that a little bit later.
All right.
Let's get into some deep questions. All right. Deep question of the day. First deep question. What are 3 defining moments in your life and how do they impact you?
Okay. If I were to go back, way back. First one would be I got a scholarship to study design, which is something I've always wanted to do, and I couldn't afford it, so I worked at first, and then I applied for a scholarship and I got it, and I still couldn't afford not earning a living, so I went to school. I talked to my boss then and struck a deal and decided they allowed me to study full time and work part time in that same position and make up for the hours during the weekends and in the evenings and stuff. And I did that. That's one defining moment. And then number 2, as I got older a little bit, in my design role, I was pushed into doing copywriting a lot because I speak English, although I don't know copywriting. So I decided to, anyone who speaks English apparently can write. I decided to take it up and study it a little bit. And I was living in Penang. There's no copywriting courses, let alone any courses that's interesting much in Penang then. And there's this place called 95%. It's pretty cool because the 5% is your effort, right? They can only teach you so much, but you've got to top it up to make it 100%. I love that. And even the logo is, the 9 is a comma because it doesn't end. It's just a comma, and then you continue on the journey. So they had a course in KL, and again, I negotiated with my employers then to allow me to take that course. I would pay for it. All I needed was the time off. So I would scour the internet at certain hours of the day and night, morning to get cheap Air Asia flights to fly. I work half a day in Penang, get on a flight to KL during lunch, get there about, by the time I get to the airport, take the flight, reach KLIA, get the bus to KL, Bangsar, and wait for the class. The class starts about 6:30 or 7 and a half. A quick meal, get into the class for a few hours. I think it ends about 10:30 or something. And then I'll make my way to the bus station and take the bus back to Penang that night. And I'll reach about, so if the bus is about 11:30 or 12, I'd reach in the wee hours of the morning and I'll go work the next day. And so I did that for a good 3 months. It's not every day. I think in a week there were 2 or 3 classes, so I would do that until I finished my course. So that was defining moment number 2. I know it's crazy, right? And then Q into, I think, I can't remember the year actually. 10 years later, I'm working in KL in advertising, blah, blah, blah. And then Penang starts getting interesting, and it receives the UNESCO award, Georgetown UNESCO Heritage City. So the art is booming. The art as a business, design as a business is booming. So I decided to move back to Penang, and this time around, I'm in another advertising agency where I'm the art director. And having already worked in KL in advertising, you hardly go home. You go home at 10:30, you get into bed, and then you get a call, hey, they want to change the ad. Huh? And it was the time where things weren't all online. You couldn't work from home. There's no such thing. And you had to go back to the studio, do the edits, and then continue on. And then the next day, you have to be back at work. So that, as it is, from my first 2 stories, you already know that I have this weird thing of just keep going, just keep swimming, energize a bunny. Something's wrong in the head. I don't know what's going on, but we do not stop. So now I'm back in Penang. So advertising in KL, non-stop. I'm back in Penang, and my first day at this new job in Penang, art director, advertising agency, an old advertising agency that's been there since I was a kid. I actually aspired to join that ad agency, and now I'm there. And they tap me on the shoulder and like, hey, we go home at 6 p.m. today. I'm in over here. We go home at 6 p.m. every day. I'm like, what? What am I gonna do? What the hell am I gonna do? Oh boy, I'm gonna go nuts if I stay on like this. I gotta do something. So I started getting, I got a part-time job for no reason in Starbucks. So art director by day, barista by night, and I worked at a Starbucks in the Borders cafe bookshop, so that it closes about 10:30. If I were to work in a Starbucks that's outside, then it will end until midnight, and I'll be obviously more tired. So that was cool. You get free drinks, you get cheap books because Bujaya Books is under Starbucks, Bujaya Coffee. You get this discount. I work in the day and I work in the evening. I drink coffee, and that's great. So why is that a defining moment? The first 2, I think it's pretty obvious. It's a defining moment. I got my education. Number 2, I also got my education. Number 3, as I ventured further into the art director role, it was more of a leadership role. And I had to open myself up into, because previously I was a designer and copywriter. Now I have to lead. And I have to open myself up into speaking, leading, giving advice, having a stronger mindset. I took the barista role because it is in line, but a total opposite. being a barista, it's like starting from scratch. You don't know how to make the drinks. You are a slave of sorts, but there's a system, and I love the system. And the fact that I had to greet each and every person that comes into the cafe, right? Like, oh, Starbucks. Hi, hello, Starbucks. Or just immediately speak to somebody. I guess I love the challenge, and that challenge challenged me at work. It gave me a balance. So this also continued on into me eventually going to sing. I would be working in the day and then singing in the night because somehow these two different worlds give me balance and keeps both sides creative and both sides dynamic. In my day job, it gives me more courage instead of being a mouse, instead of being somebody just behind the desk doing their work, logging on. I'm not afraid to like open up my mouth like, why are you doing this? Why are you saying that? Like I call you out. I have no qualms doing that. Some people think it's aggressive, but it's not really. It's why do I keep quiet when there's something I don't like or I think is wrong? I speak my mind. Too many people keep quiet. So that part challenges my day job. And my day job puts in strategy, concept, themes into my singing part, where I can't just, okay, let's take a gig. Okay, let's take a gig. Let's take a gig. No, I need to know what are we singing? Who's it for? What's the client? What do they like? What do they not like? A lot of the times the band just goes on stage, performs, but I can't do that. I need to have something else. I need to have order. Um, I need to have a little bit more discipline in the other part. And I think it helps me grow both sides. So those are my defining moments so far. There's more, of course, but I'm 47, so there's got to be more than three.
You're 47.
I'll be 47 this year, yeah.
Got it. Wild, the wild life of Viv, the hustler. Don't
Yeah,
give up. I love that. I love that story. Love that story. Get off of work, 1 o'clock, fly to KL, then take the bus back to
I know that was
Penang.
crazy.
That
But
sounds
but
like
the course was good enough for me to keep on doing it.
I'm sure. I'm sure it had to be. It had to be. I love that. We're gonna dive in. Let's do the first topic of the day, which is education. It seems like education is probably like a big thing for you.
Hmm.
Who were you in high school?
What?
What type of person were you in high school, secondary school? Who were you?
The naughty kid.
The naughty kid?
The naughty nerd.
The naughty. What is that? Define. Tell me personal story. What is that?
Okay, the naughty nerd. Um, I did hang out with some bad kids, but and I got busted. Should I tell this story?
Truthful. Remember, intention to be truthful.
Okay. So I would hang out with when I say bad, they weren't like doing drugs or anything. They were just, you know, not even skipping class, not wearing your pinafore right, just stupid things. It's not bad. But to me, that is already a big thing. Um, I come from a family who are not that rebellious, so me not wearing my pinafore right was already like, ooh, silly. I know. And then there was this time where there's this old, it was just a toilet that's breaking down in school, and the tiles, and all of the girls were taking the tiles. I came from a girls' school, so they were all taking tiles and drawing on the tiles from the toilet. Like it's going to be renovated. The toilet is condemned. No one's using it, so they're just removing tiles. I remove the tile. I get busted. Nobody else does. Like, it's a tile. And to be honest, it was for art. I was just gonna draw on it. And my dad got called up to this disciplinary teacher and like, your daughter's a bad girl. I'm like, really? Jesus, that's bad? Yeah, you seem bad, woman. But yeah, I was that kind of kid. But at the same time, I would joke a lot. Do imitations and stuff like that. I would draw um, teachers' faces and then pass it around, and people like, yeah, looks like her. And then the nerdy part is I was in the school band, and I was in percussion. It was so way back then that we didn't have a drum set. I wish we did, because then I would have been able to learn it. But we didn't have a drum set. It was a marching band. So and it was for the most for most of the part it was British based marching band, meaning um, the drums were held with a strap, whereas eventually they turned more American based, where the drums had a hanging thing, a hanger, where you see where they play the drums this way, whereas the British marching band they play the drums this way. Like if you see, I don't know, period movies and they're marching, they have the drums and it's called side drum for a reason. But in school bands in America, they're all in the front. So I'm that nerd, and yeah, that was it. And in school, I also went to the sixth form, but that is when a lot of my classmates would have gone to college. The more well-off ones would go to college, private college. I'll go overseas. I stayed on and did sixth form. But that is also when the Chinese school, girl high school students come to my school. So basically, it's just me solo, non-Mandarin speaking, and then all the Chinese girls, cool kids come to my school because they don't have sixth form. And eventually, a lot of the classes, the teachers resort to teaching in Mandarin because those kids don't really know Mandarin English. And everyone will stop, turn around, look at me. Oh, this can't speak Mandarin, huh? I'm like, yeah, I can't. They're like, oh well. And then they'll continue in Mandarin. I'm like, great. Now what? So I'll take a long walk. And that was sixth form. I didn't do very well, obviously. But yeah, that was how I was in school. I quite liked it.
I
But it
love
was a
that.
far trip. I had to get up at 5 a.m., take the school bus, and it was more than an hour drive from where I live, and then back.
Wow. Wow. That is a very intense story.
Is it?
I mean, just the fact that you go to a school and then all of a sudden it's like a bunch of Chinese girls and like
Yeah,
it's
that was annoying. Like,
yeah.
guys, in my school, like, can't you speak English? Oh my god.
What how have you changed over the years? What are your top two biggest changes since you were in high school to now?
Since I was in high school, dude, I'm 47 this year. It's a long time. But I think it's been a crescendo. I think I was gung ho, without a care in the world, full of confidence in school, right? I play, I'm in the percussion, okay. Um, I'm a bad nerd apparently. Um, but yeah, I think I was a little bit popular. Not as in like prom queen, we didn't have those things. More so, one of the cooler kids who just made noise and was fun to be around. And then when reality hit and work hit, and people started going to universities and colleges, and I didn't. I didn't go to. I went to college only after I got um, my scholarship. Right, that was a good year and a half after everybody started their unis and colleges, and then it was just a diploma. I still don't have a degree, no nothing else further than that, and that I guess takes a toll in my confidence off and on. But And then as you grow older, and I guess I push myself and go up on stage and stuff like that and sing because it gives me a boost. It's like serotonin. Every time you go on stage, you're scared. I'm scared to death until I get through the first two lines of a song, and then it sets the tone, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe. And then after the break, it's again like, oh man, I wish the stage broke and we all fell in so we can end this gig. Then after the first two lines again, then I'm like, okay, we got this. We can do this. So that after that, in the evening, that gives me the boost the next day at work or that week, right? So that's been going on, but that's obviously not a healthy way of doing things. It's just tiring me out. It's like a drug, right? So I needed to find my own strength internally, not just have it been triggered by an action.
Interesting.
And that comes with, sorry?
No, I said that's interesting.
Yeah. Because how long can I keep up this action? I can't, right? And when there's no gigs, it's going to be double down. I'd be like, oh no, nobody likes me. So it comes with age. It also came with a lot of life experiences. And in 2019, I had cancer, and that took a whole lot, but that also completely changed my mindset. Um, I wouldn't say 100%, I would say 80%, where you start thinking, you know what, I'll do whatever the hell I want to do. And if you don't like it, too bad. And if I don't like doing this, I'm not going to do it. So I started getting that way. But it was a big crescendo, and it needed to be adjusted, right? It was just from this to pound like that. So it needed to be adjusted because then my approach would be too harsh on people. So, because obviously I'm dealing with stuff from cancer, like, there's always the why me and oh no, will he come back? Or um, so many questions comes with that, right? But that's a completely different story. Uh, and then I would say last year or early this year, I attended a talk or a course that was just about designing your year. I was actually just um, sitting in for somebody. I didn't sign up for the course or anything. But there's one part of that course that was so interesting that kept with me, where the instructor asked us to plot your year 2022. Plot your 2022 in a graph. So you've got 0 till 1 to 10, 0, negative 1 to 10. And then there's the line and then the month, right? So just draw dots of how you felt throughout that month, throughout the whole year. Just dots. And you're like, I can't remember how I felt. I'm like, don't worry. Look in your Instagram, look in your photo album, look at your text messages, which is smart. And then think of that. Look at your Facebook and try to recollect what happened then. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went through everything, what everybody did, and then you plotted the line. And then after you plotted the dots, you draw the lines connecting the dots. And then I saw, hey, wait a minute. The first half of 2022, I was not as strong emotionally. Things got to me, not as much as I wanted it to. Got to me more than I wanted it to. And then something switched in the middle of the year where my lines went up. There were still bad things that happened at the bottom.
Right.
Stuff happened, but I could manage my emotions and my feelings. I was like, not so bad, 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 not so bad. And it's like, oh, I'm able to rework your feelings, your emotions, your reactions when it would take you a whole month or 2 months when something bad happens, or even a full day or a full week, it's now taking me a few minutes or half an hour to like, oh, you know what? Okay, whatever. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. So it's obviously I'm 47 this year, so it's a lot that's changed since I was in school until now. But like I said, it's kind of like fluctuates, but it's kind of also going full circle where I was confident and carefree in school, and then life hits you, and then you're back to being, hey, you know what, whatever, confident and carefree again.
So from all of that life experience, what would you tell the kids is the key point in all of that? The key
I
takeaway.
suppose when you're in the middle of things, um, even me, in the middle of things when I was a kid, it feels like, oh my God, the world is closing in on me. Nobody can do anything for me. This is the end of the world. My life is over. This is so embarrassing. I just can't anymore. I can't go on. I should like, that's it. But it's not. It's not. Um, One of the easiest ways I've learned is not a scrunchie, but a rubber band. Have it around your wrist and then snap it. Let that pain remind you, oh, wait, what? This is more painful right now than what's going through here and here. And snap it again. So, but be careful. I'm not saying hurt yourself. It's just a wake up call. It's just like, wait, hold on, get up. Wait, hold on. So that's what I'll say to them. Like, it's not as bad as you think it is. At the moment, yes, nobody can help you in your head and in your heart. It's the worst ever. But please just take 5 breaths or 5 steps or do something that like just use the rubber band just to remind yourself, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. It's not as bad as you think it is.
Love
Because
that.
as a teenager, you would feel it's the end of the world when something small happens. It's not small to you, it's huge to you.
Love that. It's not the end of the world. Let's move on to the
It's not
next
the end
topic
of it.
today, which is
All
going
right.
to be love.
Okay.
What is love?
Love is being disciplined. Love is being disciplined. Love is being true. Love is being respectful. What do I mean by that? Respectful, if you're talking about love with someone else or even with your family, there always needs to be a level of respect. You need to show your respect to your parents. You need to show your respect for your siblings, vice versa. They need to respect you too. When there's none of that, when there's no respect, you can't really call it love. It's just being loyal.
Hmm.
That's to me. I don't know. That's how I see it.
Okay. How do you show love to others?
Um, I do things for them.
And how do you
It's
receive love?
it's how to receive love is quite difficult. I don't know. Something I'm still learning.
Well, when was the last time you received love? Why is it difficult? Personal story. Where does that come from?
If it's in a relationship, then it's a bit difficult because relationships come and go and there's breakups and stuff, right? So those are personal things that are a bit too much to talk about. I think the kids wouldn't want to know. It's boring. Um, but I receive love all the time from my animals. 7 cats and a dog. There's hardly no space for there's just no space for even more love. There's just so much love. They're always there for me. In terms of parents and siblings is tough. I have a brother. We fight all the time. He wants to be right. I want to be right. So that's respect, not being there. Discipline, however, is the love for yourself. If you're not disciplined, you're not looking after yourself. If you need to work out, work out. If you need to sleep, sleep. If you need to eat, eat. If you need to do your homework, do your homework. Why? Because that's love. It'll get you somewhere. Not loving yourself is hurting yourself. And how are you hurting yourself? By not doing the things that will get you to places in the future. So discipline is also love.
Love that discipline. A lot of
Getting
the
to school on time, getting to work on time, getting in class on time.
a lot of my students, they struggle communicating with their parents. What is your relationship with your parents like, or what would you say to the kids who can't talk to their parents or who can't talk to their dad? Like, they don't understand me. You know, I'm so misunderstood. My parents don't get me.
I don't think parents will ever get you fully because they're your parents. There's an age difference. Um, Strangers will get you because they don't have responsibility towards you. If you can understand and take a couple of steps back and look at why your parents don't understand you, eventually it'll get easier. I always thought my mom didn't understand me. I had a rocky relationship with her. But eventually I put myself in her shoes and I understood she only knows what she knows. She doesn't know what she doesn't know. I know now. I know that in piece of information. So that can help bridge the gap here.
Mm.
So if your parents doesn't understand you, let's say you hate math, you hate science, and you don't want to pursue that in school, but your dad insists you do that, insists that you become a doctor, but you want to do art. Okay, big problem. Happens all the time in Malaysia, Asia, Asian parents. Become a doctor, become a lawyer. Teachers even no problem. But look at becoming a doctor now. It's a bit tough. You can't even get a job. But I digress. Going into science and maths and engineering and stuff, to a parent's mind, there's always a job. There's always a clear cut job because they come from that era. When the kids I'm talking to now become parents, that world is different. Like I said before, I had to take the plane, train, and bus to go and study copywriting. I don't have to do that now. But this is at least 20 years past. When these kids become parents, life will be different. When they're their current parents were kids, life was different too. Their current parents are probably the ones, probably my age, who are in between a world that had the internet and didn't have the internet, had a government job that was um, something you can fall on and secure yourself, and didn't have one, and did your own businesses. Like my dad, he had his job for 40 years. He was in the government. And even voting for the opposition then was hard for him because to them, they worked for the government for 40 years. Why do I, his line was, why do I want to bite the hand that fed me? Which is true. He was loyal to them and to in his mind, they fed his family. They gave him a job, gave him a salary all the time. So that's his world. He cannot see my world where I want to do the art. So I figured out a way to do the art by working first because we don't come from a rich family. And I got my scholarship to do the art. to do design, and I did that. So if a kid right now who's listening to this and wants to do the art, figure it out a little bit, research a little bit. You can always do the art on the side. Do it on the side first. Figure out what type of, because art is subjective, like stuff you see at the back. This this is completely different. The same guy drew this one, same guy, and then this photography, which to you it's dark and mysterious, but to me I like it. It's subjective. I can do this. I can hold this scrunchie, and honestly, I don't like it. I hate it. But I can't find something better. Some other people are like, oh my god, so nice. You know, I have this iPod, AirPod, earpod holder, and it's Marshall. Not branded, fake. But I like it because I like music. But to somebody else, it's like, it's so bulky. This is art, this is design, people doing things. But it's not always going to have a market. Market meaning not always going to have a buyer. When there's no buyer, you don't get the money. That is the basics. So if you can figure a way to do your art and earn a living, you can slowly show your parents that, okay, this is viable. But if you can't do that, you're still searching for yourself. You still need to survive. You still need a job. Go work at Starbucks. Go work somewhere. I don't know. Get a job. Study, get a job. Become a doctor first. Become an engineer first. And then put that engineering mind into producing something. It's always good to have extra things and knowledge. I don't know. I hope I answered
I love
the question.
wise words. Wise words that suck me in. You know, telling these kids, telling these kids to wake up. You gotta feed your family, kids.
Yeah, you gotta support your iPhone lifestyle.
I love it. Let's move on to the last topic, which is money. What is money?
Money is a necessity in this day and age. It's an object that allows you to have something that you want legally, right? And it's an object that you get when you produce something legally, or sometimes illegally, but then it becomes illegal money. Um, but money is a mode of trade. If you Google it, money is what we use to purchase things and services from everyday life. So you need money. Money is a necessity. Money is not evil. I've learned that the hard way because, again, coming from an Asian family, coming from a religious Asian family, we are always taught that wanting money is being greedy. No, don't go for the. Why do you want to? Just have enough. You don't need so much. I don't understand why people need so much. It's not about needing so much. It's more of achieving what you're worth. But a lot of the times you get told that, why? Why do you need to do that? Society looks at it as greed, but it's not greed. And I'm not saying covered money. What I'm saying is achieve as much as you can as an individual legally, as long as you're happy. Right? So if you can produce the next iPhone, and you're cracking your head to produce something, do it. It's not about, oh, can I beat Elon Musk and to make the next Tesla? That's not. It's not about money. It's about in the background, Elon had a better idea of sustainable electricity and all that. That was the part that I bought in. Tesla's a cool car. Cool. Then he went wonky and crazy. That part, don't take. Take the part that um, helps the world, helps yourself, helps the community around you. It's not it's not about being greedy, it's about making the world a better place, if that's what your agenda or value system is.
So, as someone who has worked in advertising as an art director, can you kind of describe what that means? What does an art director do? What if a kid wants to get into art direction or get into the advertising world? What are
Sure.
the what are the
It's
steps?
changed a lot, obviously. It's changed so much. A designer that used to only use Adobe, I now use Canva as well. I supplement both. Um, Proper designers would say, "Oh, why are you using Canva?" I'm like, "It's fast, man. I need to do fast jobs that pay cheap." So I use Canva. More difficult stuff, things that I need more control for, I use Adobe. For somebody who wants to become an art director, that's not it. Art directors in the middle, creative directors higher, and then directors, studio director, and blah blah blah. So the role of an art director has changed, but I would say always have more in your hand, knowledge, more knowledge in your hand, more experience in your hand, more skills, so that your art direction is better. After I did copywriting, I felt like my art direction is better. Although we have a copywriter, I think in lines of, okay, the whole campaign, instead of just, no, you know what? I want to put black there and I'll put the word sideways and I'll do this because it's cool. No, you can't sell cool to a client. You have to be able to explain your reasons. So the art director directs things. And it will eventually take you out of being an art director, to be honest. You start becoming a creative director, right? Or head or something, head of department or something, because you need to be able to see the whole picture, the vision. A lot of the time, okay, back to this thing, the font is a bit hard to read. And somehow they got a machine that could print this size, the font. But most of the time, when you have a font that's so thin, it looks cool, but a normal printer can't print it. Then you're screwed. You might want to have that design, looks great on a computer, but when it's printed on paper, it doesn't work. Yeah,
Mm,
not many people still print, but they still do print. Print is still there. So you need to have a bigger picture. Maybe the client will print in bulk for the first run, but after that, let's print a little bit every 100, every 100. Then it's back to the normal printer uncle down the road. They can't print that size and thinness of the font. Then it's good. You need to think about the whole campaign, not just be an artist. You need to think like a visionary. You need to think, okay, if we do this, who are the people we're speaking to? Who's the audience? Is it you, Bob, or is it me, Viv? Are you selling to somebody like Bob, or are you selling somebody Viv? Right? No cursing. That would have been better maybe in red. I don't know, because I didn't see it. All I saw, I skimmed through this whole thing, community hotline. All right, great. I didn't even see text home to 741741. That font, hard to read. 7 looks like 1, looks like 7, looks like 1. Right? So you might have wanted, and that's an important thing. So you might have wanted to put in different fonts. Although try not to use so many fonts in one visual, right? The no cursing thing is on the side, but again, I didn't register until now. I just looked at it, only just registered it. So it's okay to have your standard branding where it's yellow and black, cool. Our names are in yellow and black, cool. Text home to 741741 could be a different font just because of the number. It could still be in yellow, maybe the number can be in different colors so that people catch it immediately. Because we used to have, let's say, 15 seconds or 10 seconds or 8 seconds to register something. Now it's less. It's 5 seconds. It's going to be 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds and I'm off to the next screen. I'm not even going to take anything in. So your immediate curation of this whole frame has to make sense. Right?
There you have it, folks. The details of art direction, it is much more than just black, slant the text, it looks cool, you're going to make a bunch of money. A lot more goes into
No,
it.
you're not.
Depends on how much you sell, right? How many units you push out.
Units? I don't know. Depends on the campaigns you get.
Yeah, I know some ad agencies that they usually pay everything up front, like the media buys, they'll have a loan with the bank, and then the client doesn't pay until 90 days after. So the ad agency actually has to front the media buys, and then they'll just on the back end they'll be like, we get 10% of sales of whatever we're selling.
Yeah, but not every employee gets it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's like a misconception that people don't think is like they think that advertising is more about making cool, creative products. But at the end of the day, I think for me at least, it's more about selling the product for the brand that's hiring you to do all that.
It is.
Yeah.
And also tap into your subconscious mind and your value system. Do you actually want to promote a certain brand?
Absolutely. What is your highest ambition in life?
To be a superhero rock star.
I love that. Just to wrap it up then, what are any last words? 2 pieces of life advice for the kids listening?
2 pieces of life advice? Casey Kasem. Keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars.
There we go. Where can people find you?
Viv Adram on Instagram and avividworld.com.
Got it. All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, you want to hear more about her story, check her out. Send her a DM. Check out her website. Before I forget, all I ask is that, if you guys are feeling generous, that you do consider supporting the community hotline. And we will catch you guys next time. See you guys later.